Hey everybody, Caleb Rothe here, and I'm joined by Mark Thurston. What we thought we would do is get together and talk with you a little bit about getting ready for WGI World Championships. And in this little video clip, we want to talk about staff seating at World Championships as well as sound engineer seating. So Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you. Do you have any general tips for us when it comes to staff seating at World Championships?
Yeah, thanks, Caleb. First of all, at UD Arena, there is going to be 13 seats right off the floor in section 113 that are going to be available for staff. And then there's an upper area that has 10 seats along with an area where you can stand, where you can fit a bunch of people up there. So we got to make sure we have a plan for that.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is arriving with a plan, knowing who is going to go immediately to the staff seating area once the ensemble gets set up, and who's going to be that last person on the floor that's given the okay to the TMP judge. It's a best practice at World Championships not to have 7 people down there giving that okay, but to get everybody up into staff seating as quickly as possible. And Mark, I know you talked about UD, and we'll look at some diagrams in a second. But at all of our other venues, the staff seating area is going to be really close to the floor. So just anticipate that, know that. We'll go over the diagrams, but make sure that your whole staff knows where that seating area is in advance, especially parent helpers. They're the ones that tend to be a little confused at the last second and aren't sure where to go. Just talk about it ahead of time so all of that goes smoothly. The last thing you want as your group's about ready to perform is a bunch of chaos and confusion about where everybody's supposed to go.
Yeah, and the other arenas, Caleb, there's plenty of room for staff and crews, so we're not anticipating any kind of congestion there.
Yeah. The other thing that we wanted to talk about really quickly is the sound engineer seating, because this is a little bit more specialized. At each one of the venues, you will have 3 seats available to you for your sound engineer, plus 2 others to sit. No more than 3, though. So you can't send 5 over to that area. There'll be nowhere for them to go. So make sure it's 3 or fewer. And whoever is going to be doing the mixing and the sound engineering really needs to know ahead of time of exactly where they're going, because usually they have a little bit further to travel and they kind of need to know the game plan for that in advance. Mark, any other suggestions in terms of sound engineer personnel?
Yeah, just remember that these aren't hype seats. So you can't get in there because you're in the judges area. So you can't get in there and start raising your hands, and you can't stand up and scream or anything like that. So you're just going to have to make sure you're there to do your job, and that's it.
Yeah, whoever's in those seats needs to be almost invisible. I think that's the best practice, because the last thing you want to do is be a distraction during the performance when all that's going on. So what we'll do now, Mark, is let's go ahead and pull up some diagrams at each one of the venues and just think about where is your group going to be performing. You can skip ahead to whichever part in the video is most appropriate for this, and we'll be able to kind of take a look. Mark, I think maybe we'll start off with UD Arena. Does that sound good?
Sounds great. So this is UD Arena looking down to the floor. So what we'll do, since we're talking to staff, is we'll flip this around. So basically you're coming onto the floor. This is the area right off the floor. And if you follow these orange arrows, they're going to take you to the sound engineer seats. This has not changed. This is the way it's always been. You go up the staircase at section 113, and then you come over. The difference this year is there's going to be these stanchions are going to be right here on the edge of the concourse, and the seats are going to be right off the concourse, so you'll be able to sit. And that's because the judges are sitting lower this year, and we figured we would put the audio team right there, right between the music and the effect music judges, so they'll have a great opportunity to mix properly. For the rest of the staff, just keep going all the way up top to the staff viewing area, which is listed upside down now because we're looking at it the other way, and that's where you'll sit and watch the show from up there.
And then the other part that you'll have access to here is that row of seats that's right off the floor, Mark, all those red seats down at the bottom, 4 through 16. Is that correct?
That's correct. These are 13 seats that are going to be available for you at every performance. And it just gets tight on World Finals night where the place is sold out, and you're going to have these 13 seats plus the 10 seats up top, plus the staging area that you can stand up there, and the 3 sound engineers. So if you have more than that, if you have an army of people, they're going to have to either get behind the curtain or find some empty seat. And it gets really hard at the end of a finals night because we can't sit in the aisles, and we all know that we can't sit on the floor.
So I would prioritize anybody that can get off the floor quickly should go to that upper staff viewing area, and then you should prioritize those low on the floor seats, all those red seats. Basically, for anybody that is getting off the floor at the last minute, make sure that you've got enough room there for all those people to have a seat. Again, can't sit in the aisles at any of the event venues.
Yeah, so this diagram right here is showing us exactly where these seats are. The 13 seats are right down here in the front row. And you would go up the steps over to the sound engineer seats, which are these 3 seats right here. And all the way up top, these 10 seats, along with this standing area, is where the rest of the staff can be.
Perfect. All right, let's take a look now at Nutter Center and kind of review the diagram there for anybody that'll be performing in this venue.
Nutter Center, the traffic is going to be similar, actually. We're just going to go over to onto side 1, and we're going to go up the stairs and then over the concourse, the first landing, and the sound engineer seats are going to be right there. Again, the judges area is lower, and it'll be similar to what we see at UD. And as far as the staff, you have this whole area right in here to sit, or any available seating.
Yeah, and sometimes that gets a little full there, so you want to make sure that you've got this, that the staff knows where to sit. But if there's plenty of room in Nutter, you're welcome to sit wherever you can get before the show starts. All right, let's take a look now at Truist, yeah?
Okay, Truist is a little bit different because we can't get you from the sides into the center because of the seating. So we're going to allow the 3 audio engineers to go straight up into the judges area. And then it's either going to be right here in the middle or a little bit higher. We haven't 100% decided where that's going to be, but it's going to be in the judges area right there behind the music judges. And then the staff seating is going to be down in the lower area. And if you want to try to get upstairs, you can, but you're going to have to go all the way up and up the steps to get up there. So it's a little bit difficult in this arena to get up to the upper decks.
And staff seating, I'm not sure if that'll be on side 1 or side 2, but just when you get there, you'll look for the area. There'll be some signs posted. And so just head for that, whichever side is designated for you. All right. And finally, let's take a look at Hobart Arena. Apologies for the pixelation, everyone, but this should at least give you an idea of what you're looking at here.
So Hobart Arena is a smaller arena coming in the same way like you do at all the arenas. Follow the orange. There's boards here, hockey boards, and there's one entrance. And you basically can come up. There's only 10 rows of stands, and the audio engineer is going to be right next to the music judge right up here. And staff seating is going to be anywhere you can find in this area. And then when you go out, it's going straight out.
Any open seat will work when you're here at Hobart. I think the last big reminder, everybody, is that no matter which venue your group is performing in, when you're in that staff seating area, make sure that you're mindful of all of the other spectators that are attending the event, any judges that may be in that area, so that we're not a distraction. And very importantly, make sure you do not leave the staff seating or viewing area early. That's a huge distraction to the audience and to the judges when you get a mass of people running down the stands. I know we want to get in and out and off the floor in a timely fashion, but if you're all the way up at the top and you're trying to sprint down while the show is still concluding, that's a major distraction. So you might want to position yourself a little bit closer to the floor if you're one of the people that needs to crash the boards right after that last note is over.
Great point.
All right. Thanks very much for checking this one out, and we'll see you at WGI World Championships, everybody.